Revealed, heartwarming tale of millionaire who discovers amazing twins abandoned in trash at 6, Jack Thompson had it all. The sprawling mansion, the luxury cars, and a bank account that could make anyone envious. But as he stood in his impeccably manicured backyard one sunny afternoon, he felt an unsettling emptiness in his chest. Millions couldn't fill the void of a family, companionship, and love. His success, while impressive, echoed hollowly in the silence of his home. As he walked through his suburban neighborhood, he caught a faint sound almost lost in the rustling leaves, a cry, desperate and raw. His heart raced as he followed the echo, leading him to a nearby dumpster. There, amidst the discarded remnants of a once busy day, he spotted a crumpled cardboard box, its edges torn and battered by neglect. Jack's breath caught in his throat as he approached and gently pulled away the rough cardboard flaps. What he uncovered made his heart shatter and swell simultaneously. Two frightened 6-year-old twins, Mia and Max, huddled tightly and trembling. Mama Mia whimpered, her big, teary eyes peering up at him. Jack knelt, overwhelmed by the instinctual pull of parenthood he never knew was in him. He wrapped the twins in his arms, feeling their warmth seep into him like long-lost pieces of a puzzle. For the first time in years, something ignited within him: joy, hope, connection. Jack had grown up in foster care. A life filled with uncertainty, he often felt unwanted and invisible, much like the twins now before him. As Mia and Max clung to his shirt, the weight of that past surged back, swirling into a mix of protective instincts and longing for belonging. He promised himself that these children would never feel as he had, abandoned, adrift, unloved. In the following days, the community rallied around the lost angels, bringing blankets, toys, and a steady stream of encouragement. Yet, as Jack welcomed Mia and Max into his life, whispers and judgments about their broken beginnings crept into his thoughts. He heard the quiet gasps, the stigma that children like them often carried. Just when certainty began to settle like a warm embrace, the twins' biological mother resurfaced, a storm cloud emerging from his hopeful skies. She claimed her right to reclaim her children, insisting that everyone deserved a second chance. Jack's heart tightened, the whispers grew louder. The idea of loss loomed, shifting uncomfortably inside him as he grappled with whether to honor the twins' bloodline or rip them from a mother. He questioned, "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. Just as Jack sought clarity, another surprising twist unraveled. The twins had a connection to a greater web of economic disparities, a narrative that struck a chord deep within him. This was bigger than him, it was injustice writ large. Firing up a movement among the neighbors, Jack united his community, stirring empathy and redefining what family meant. He stood at a crossroads, challenged by the bittersweet nature of family boundaries. The stakes were impossibly high, and his resolve was tested like never before. As Jack embarked on a journey of fights and challenges, he couldn't shake off the question that loomed larger than life. In a world where family often goes unappreciated, how far would he go to redefine what it truly means to belong? The next few weeks were a whirlwind for Jack, Mia, and Max. The twins settled into his home like pieces of a puzzle that he never knew were missing. Each day brought laughter and small triumphs. Mia's giggles echoed through the halls, while Max proudly built towering structures with blocks, each one taller than the last. Jack found himself pouring every ounce of love he had into these children, determined to protect them from a world that had already shown them its cruel side. Yet, the darker cloud of the twins' mother loomed ominously in the background. Though Jack tried to drown out the uncertainty, her presence gnawed at the edges of his newfound happiness. He wondered how someone could abandon their children and then reclaim them with just a few words. It felt unfair, like a cruel twist of fate. He felt the weight of responsibility pressing on his shoulders, and for the first time in his life, he was not just fighting for himself, but for the little ones who had unexpectedly woven themselves into the fabric of his heart. One afternoon, while sitting on the porch, Jack caught sight of Mia quietly drawing with crayons under a shaded tree. Her little tongue peeked out in concentration. It was a perfect day, the sun filtered through leaves, casting patterns of light over her golden hair. He smiled, realizing he couldn't imagine life without those moments of innocence and creativity. Just then, the sound of gravel crunching interrupted his thoughts. His stomach nodded. He knew that sound. It was her. Mia and Max's mother approached, her silhouette framed against the bright sunlight. What she presented was not just herself, but a hope for reconciliation. Jack's heart raced as he remembered their fragile smiles, the way they melted into his arms. With every confident step she took, he felt that warmth evaporating, replaced by icy dread. "Mr. Thompson," she called casually but with a hint of urgency. He stood up, his heart pounding. "What do you want?" The words came out sharper than intended, yet he felt justified. He was their parent now, a force ready to protect. "I just want to talk," she replied, her voice shaking softly, layers of emotion wrapped around her words. "I know I messed up. I'm trying to get my life together. I want to see them to explain." Jack narrowed his eyes, contemplating her sincerity. "You left them in a dumpster. I know, and I can never take that back. But I love them. I've missed them every day," she pushed back, desperation evident in her tone. "Everyone deserves a second chance." The sincerity in her voice forced him to pause. Did love alone qualify as a redeeming grace? Could she really provide the stability and love the twins deserved? As Jack wrestled with his thoughts, Mia and Max emerged from the house, their smiles illuminating the tense atmosphere. Mia waved, oblivious to the gravity of the moment. "Jack! Can we go to the park?" Jack's heart sank but also soared. He looked between the three of them, weighing his next words carefully. The twins were blissfully unaware of the storm brewing around them. Could he risk everything they had built for the sake of blood ties? "Why now?" Jack asked finally, searching for clarity. The look in her eyes was raw, she seemed like a woman on the edge of breaking. "Because I don't want them to grow up thinking they were unwanted. I need them to know the truth." As if pulled by an unseen strings, Jack stepped closer, whispering to himself, "What is the truth?" The question echoed not just in the air, but deep within him as he turned to face the twins. He owed them honesty, but that honesty had the power to change everything. Standing in the tightening circle of uncertainty, Jack faced the question that would shape all their futures. Was he ready to fight for a family that had begun to form, or would he bridge a gap that risked tearing apart their fragile bond? Jack stood frozen, the weight of the moment crashing down around him. Mia's innocent joy contrasted so sharply with the turmoil brewing in his chest. He glanced back at the twins, their curious expressions drawing him out of the storm inside. Max was building a block tower that threatened to topple at any second, while Mia's art lay scattered around her. She was lost in her own world, blissfully unaware of the chaos unfolding just a few feet away. "Jack, can we please go?" Mia's sweet voice snapped him back. Her excitement shone in her big blue eyes, a mirror of innocence he wanted to protect fiercely. "I want to swing." Taking a deep breath, Jack forced himself to focus on her happiness, trying to push aside the wave of confusion that threatened to overwhelm him. "Yeah, kiddo. We can go," he replied, his voice steadier than he felt. Mia clapped her hands, and Max's eyes lit up as he abandoned his tower to join the fray. But as the twins darted away, laughter bubbling from their lips, Jack remained rooted to the spot, eyes still glued to their mother. Could he really take them away from her? The question hung in the air like an uninvited guest. "Are you really here for them?" Jack called out, his voice strained with both anger and exhaustion. "Or just for yourself?" Her answer hung heavy between them. "Both. But mostly for them." Just then, his phone buzzed in his pocket, jolting him back to reality. It was a text from his lawyer. "We need to discuss the custody hearing. Are you prepared?" That slipped the very ground from beneath him. A hearing. The chance to fight for Mia and Max, but at what cost? He felt torn, a helpless stretch between the twins and their mother on one side, and his desire to safeguard a future for them on the other. He glanced back toward the house, where the sun bathed everything in golden light, illuminating the family he was building. Every corner of his home felt infused with the giggling laughter, the late-night stories, and endless cuddles. Jack turned back, meeting the pleading eyes of their mother. "You have no idea what you're asking, do you?" he said, the frustration bubbling over. It felt like a betrayal of everything he had fought for in the last few weeks. "I know. But I can change. I've been working on myself, on my demons," she replied, the desperation catching in her throat. "Can't you see I am trying?" "Trying isn't enough," he snapped, the words leaving a bitter taste. "Not when they've already suffered so much." Just then, Mia came running back, her little hands tangling around his leg, grounding him in the chaos. "Jack! Come on!" She tugged, oblivious to the tension. Jack felt the warmth of her small body against him, a spark in the cold reality. His heart swelled. He needed to be strong. Strong for them. "Are they happy with you?" their mother pleaded softly. "That's all I want. If I'm the reason they're unhappy, I'll back off. Just tell me." He looked down at Mia and Max, their laughter echoing like a perfect melody, one he wanted to hold on to forever. Wasn't that what family was? Not just blood ties but love, laughter, and trust. "Just give me some time to think," Jack finally whispered, the weight of his choice settling in. He turned, feeling the twins pull him away toward the park, leaving their mother standing, a figure caught in the harsh sunlight, watching a moment slip away. The park loomed ahead, a realm of possibility, laughter, and the unknown, but as they approached the swings, Jack felt the familiar ache of uncertainty creeping back in. What would happen at the hearing? Would he have to face her again with everything on the line? His mind raced as their world spun forward, oblivious to the lurking storm of decisions that lay ahead. As he pushed Mia on the swing, he couldn't shake the feeling that everything was about to change all over again. Would happiness be a fleeting memory, or something they could truly hold on to? The swinging motion seemed delicate, a battle against gravity. The same way Jack was fighting against letting go of his newfound family. He was already gripping those small hands tightly. But would it be enough? Jack pushed Mia higher on the swing, feeling each upward motion lift some of the weight that had settled on his shoulders. The sun was warm on his back, the sound of laughter filled the air, and for the moment, he craved nothing more than to lose himself in such blissful ignorance. "Higher, Jack! Higher!" Mia squealed, her laughter ringing like music, infusing him with energy. He glanced at Max, who was spinning in circles nearby, his own giggles spilling over as he tried to catch the leaves falling from the trees. Everything felt simultaneously vibrant and surreal. Was this happiness even real? Could it survive the storm threatening to engulf it? "Okay, let us give it a try," Jack said, a burst of motivation surging through him as he pushed Mia higher. With each rise, he watched her hair flutter in the wind, her joy was infectious. It was moments like this that made him question his darkest thoughts, those doubts that lurked in the back of his mind, rattling around. But with every joyful shriek from Mia, another wave of anxiety punched through him. He could almost feel the reality of the upcoming hearing looming over them like a dark cloud. The stakes could not be higher, one decision could change everything. "Mia, can you count to 10 while I push you?" he asked, hoping to distract himself. 1, 2, 3, she focused intently, her tiny fingers gripping the swing chains tightly. As he pushed, Jack tried to focus on her counting. 4, 5, he couldn't help but feel his heart slowly thawing with her joy. Each number seemed to whisper a little hope back into his heart. Suddenly, he heard a commotion across the park. A group of kids had gathered around something on the ground, their laughter mixed with curious shouts. It drew his attention away from Mia, who was still swinging into the air, blissfully unaware. "Hey, what is going on over there?" he asked, tilting his head towards the scene. A knot twisted in his stomach. What if it was something bad? Max, having spotted the fuss, darted over to join the other kids. "I wanna see," he yelled, running even faster. With a gentle nudge to Mia to slow down, Jack stepped back from the swings, concern rising with each step toward the noise. As he approached, the children parted to reveal a stray puppy, shivering and alone. It looked up at Jack with wide, hopeful eyes. There was something hauntingly familiar about those eyes, a glimmer of vulnerability, reminiscent of the twins' own expressions when they first came to him. "Someone should help it." One child cried out. "It's all wet and scared." Jack felt his heart twist in response. He knelt down to the puppy, slowly extending his hand. "Hey, little guy, it's okay. You're safe now," he cooed, feeling a sudden surge of recognition. Wasn't this how Mia and Max had stumbled into his life? His mind raced back to their mother, standing alone, filled with regret. Could this moment somehow provide clarity? What if there was a connection meant to be forged here? "Look, it's friendly," someone shouted as the puppy wagged its tail, inching closer to Jack. As he reached out to pet it, he blocked out the noise around him. All he could think about was the responsibility he carried for the twins and how that weight might just be shared with another fragile life. A delicate thread weaving their lives together into something bigger. In the background, he could hear Mia's voice fading as she moved to join Max. "Jack. Look at me," Mia cried, swinging above the ground as if gravity was just an illusion. Jack hesitated, the puppy now leaning against him like a shadow. He faced a moment that felt monumental, the answer to a question he wished he could avoid. As laughter bubbled over from the twins, mixing with the excitement surrounding the puppy, uncertainty gripped him tighter. Would helping this puppy lead him to see what he truly desired? Could he navigate his feelings without spilling over the edge? "Jack! Come back!" Mia's voice pierced through the confusion, and as he stood caught between two paths, one of fear and one of hope, he realized that every moment contained potential. And within that moment, a flicker of revelation ignited in him. What if this was just the beginning? A small, beautiful spark that could alter the fabric of his world once more. The swing creaked and the laughter rang like bells in the distance, each note setting the stage for choices yet to come. What happened when he faced the fragile edges of family again? Would this new life redefine everything he thought he knew? Jack knelt on the grass, the small puppy nuzzling against his palm, its tail wagging faster than his thoughts could keep up. The laughter from Mia and Max echoed around him, but he couldn't shake the weight of the moment. This wasn't just about the playful chaos of the park. It felt deeper, like every sound was a reminder of the choices he faced, of the uncertain future that loomed like a shadow. "Come on, Jack!" Mia cheered, pulling him back to the present. She swung high above the ground, her feet kicking at the air, pure glee radiating off her every giggle. She didn't seem to notice the dilemma at his feet. She just saw her brother, her protector, and the joy they could share. "Yeah, Jack." Max joined in, spinning around as if he could whisk away the tension with each turn. "Let us play." For a quick heartbeat, his heart swelled. How could he not feel hopeful when faced with such innocence? But as he looked down at the puppy, he saw a mirror of uncertainty. Something broken, frightened, searching for a place to belong. Could he really take on another life, another responsibility? "Just a little longer," he whispered to the puppy, scratching its ears. It wagged its tail harder, almost as if it understood his hesitance. Jack stood, holding the tiny life close as he turned back to Mia and Max. But the moment was fleeting, and the reality of their situation crashed back like a wave. "Mia, Max, let us head home," he called, trying to keep his voice light. He knew it wasn't just another afternoon in the park. It signaled a challenging moment, one where he had to decide whether to follow this path or step back into comfort. "But, Jack," Mia protested, swinging back down. "We want to play more." He sighed, wishing he could bottle up their laughter and safety. But this was life, a jigsaw with pieces that often didn't fit. We can come back tomorrow. I promise, he added, sparking hope in her eyes, even as a nagging fear took root in his heart. Reluctantly, he moved toward the swings, the puppy cradled in his arms. It seemed to sense his shifting emotions, resting its head on his shoulder as he walked. Do you think we can keep it? Max asked, bouncing a little on his heels, eyes wide. Please. Please, Jack. Yeah. It's so cute. Can we? Mia echoed, running up to them. The anticipation in their voices stung his heart. Could he really say yes? Or should he let it go like everything else he had tried to protect? The moment weighed heavily, thicker than air, and the colorful chaos around them blurred together. What about your mom? He finally asked, needing to ground himself in reality. The twins' faces faltered, the question hanging in the air as they shared a brief silence, the laughter of the playground ebbing away. Mia started, her voice trailing off. It was a reminder of what had been lost, of what had changed them forever. Jack's heart sank at their expressions. They desired connection, just like this puppy. The need for love and a sense of family surged through him, filling the gaps left by their past. There was a pull inside him, the desires he'd buried rising to the surface. Maybe we can talk about it. But first, let us just get through today, he said, keeping his tone even. It'll make more sense after we breathe a bit. Mia's smile returned, brightening the space between them. Max jumped up and down. Okay. They seemed content with the promise of a future possibility, yet Jack felt the tension of uncertainty curled around him tighter. As they started to walk back toward their car, Jack glanced up at the sky. The sun was beginning to dip low, casting long shadows across the playground. He felt the puppy shift, those trusting eyes looking to him, waiting. Just remember, he thought, this isn't just about joy or sadness. It's about building a family made of love, one piece at a time. With every step they took, the choice loomed over him: how much love could a heart hold? And as he glanced at his siblings, he couldn't help but wonder if adding one more thread would weave a tapestry stronger than before. But would that choice haunt him, or would it bring them all together? The wind picked up, carrying a whisper of uncertainty, and Jack knew there were still answers waiting to be found. What would happen if he let that bond grow? As they reached the car, the warm glow from the setting sun enveloped them in a peach-hued moment that felt both comforting and surreal. Jack set the puppy down in the back seat, watching as both Mia and Max clambered in beside it. Their laughter resumed, filling the car with a sound that was a balm against his wrestling thoughts. It was just a puppy, he reminded himself. But it was also a choice, a possibility to care for something that needed him. Look, Jack, it likes me. Mia exclaimed, her little face lit up with delight as the puppy responded to her gentle petting. It rolled over, eagerly exposing its belly, trusting, completely unaware of the complexities of human hearts. Max leaned closer, his tiny fingers poking the puppy's nose. Can we name it? He asked, his eyes shining bright. I think we should name it Lucky. Jack smiled weakly, even as his stomach twisted with the implications that name carried. Lucky? How could they call it that when they were so unsure if they could provide a stable home for it? But the twins' excitement was infectious. It washed over him, pulling him out of the shadows that clouded his mind. Yeah, Lucky sounds great, he said, forcing the smile to reach his eyes. For a brief moment, he felt the weight of responsibility lift, if only slightly. It felt good to see his siblings so happy, their worries replaced with plans for adventure. As they drove home, the puppy nestled between them. Jack stole a glance in the rearview mirror. The sight of Mia whispering secrets to Lucky, while Max made silly faces that sent the puppy into playful yips, struck a deep chord in his heart. Would caring for this puppy help fill the void their mother's absence had left? Could it be a thread connecting their past to a hopeful future? Pulling into the driveway, Jack's heart raced. He turned to his siblings, who were still wrapped up in their puppy world. "All right, team," he said, trying to rally his own enthusiasm. "How about we make a space for Lucky in the backyard? Can I help?" Mia piped up, her eyes wide with anticipation. "Me too," Max echoed, bouncing in his seat. "Of course, you both can," Jack replied, feeling warmth spread through him. Together, they could create a perfect haven for their new friend. They jumped out of the car, racing to the backyard. Jack felt the cool grass beneath his feet, a grounding sensation as he observed the simple joy unfolding before him. But just as he felt truly proud, a nagging voice crept back. What if they weren't ready? What if they overwhelmed Lucky instead of nurturing him? "Come on, Jack. Help us dig," Max shouted, determination pushing him forward with a small shovel in hand, already surveying the best spot in the yard. "Right," Jack said, snatching a spare garden spade from the side of the house, forcing his worries back for now. They laughed and began to dig, sunlight catching on their enthusiastic expressions. The moment felt alive, pulsing with possibilities. As the hole deepened, the laughter blended with the rustle of the wind, taking with it the tension that had weighed on Jack. It was all too clear, moments like these mattered more than his fears. But doubts lingered, a shadowing presence that nipped at the edges of his thoughts. "Jack." Mia's voice pulled him back. "Do you think Lucky will be happy with us?" Her simple question knocked the breath from his lungs. I hope so." Their eyes met, and he saw that mix of hope and longing reflected back. Here they stood, clutching dreams towards a fragile future. What if Jack began, the weight of his decision starting to take form? What if Lucky ends up needing us more than we think? Mia smiled, her faith unchanged. "Then we'll take care of him. We'll be a family." But even as he smiled back, Jack knew that every decision carried consequences. Would they find the family they so desperately yearned for? Or would this leap of faith push him into deeper water? As they finished digging, the sun dipped lower, casting golden rays through the trees. Jack's heart raced with excitement and fear, the pulse of something new awakening inside him. Suddenly, the puppy barked, nipping playfully at Max's pant leg. The thrill of the moment contrasted with his internal conflicts, leaving him to wonder. Could this really be it? A chance at something real? And as the stars began to twinkle, Jack felt the weight of the world press upon him once more. Would embracing this new bond forge something beautiful, or would it threaten to unravel everything? Jack whispered into the cool evening air, "What kind of family are we becoming?" The answer lay just beyond reach, as uncertain as the twilight settling around them. The evening air held a stillness that felt both comforting and daunting. As the last traces of daylight surrendered to the night, Jack knelt beside the freshly dug hole. Lucky, their newfound companion, raced around the yard, paws kicking up tufts of grass and clods of dirt, his energy infectious. Max and Mia giggled, their voices intertwining with the puppy's delighted yips as they chased him, forgetting for a moment the shadows that loomed in the corners of Jack's mind. "Look at him go!" Mia shouted, her laughter ringing like a cherished melody. Jack watched them, a beat of anxiety knotting in his stomach. In those moments, the world disappeared. It was just them, three souls weaving together a fragile thread of hope, laughter echoing like a promise in the darkening sky. His heart swelled as he captured the scene, Mia's tiny hand waving in the air, Max stumbling in his excitement, and Lucky darting with uncontainable joy. "Okay, team," he called out, lacing his voice with mock authority, even though he felt anything but in control. "Time to set up Lucky's home." The twins stopped their game, eyes shining like the stars beginning to twinkle overhead. They scampered back, their anticipation mirroring his determination. Jack knelt down again, brushing his fingers through the dirt. It was a simple home for a simple puppy, but it felt monumental. "We should make it cozy," Max suggested. "Like one of those puppy hotels on TV." "Yes. And we can decorate it." Mia chimed in, already off to gather the blankets and stray toys littered around the yard. As they worked together, Jack felt the heaviness of responsibility shift. It became less of a burden and more of a shared journey. The twins brought everything they could find, an old box that once held Mia's dress-up clothes, a raggedy teddy bear Max swore Lucky would love, and a small, floppy hat that used to sit on their mother's shelf. Perfect. Jack encouraged, his voice stronger now. It was silly things like this that could weave them together, he mused. With each item they added, the sense of warmth grew stronger. Lucky watched, head cocked to the side, tail wagging with abandon as if sensing the love poured into his makeshift home. Jack caught Max placing the teddy bear in the corner and declaring, "This will be his best friend." "Mama would love this," Mia whispered, a sudden solemnity washing over her. The weight of her words hung in the air, mismatched against the backdrop of joy. Jack paused. It struck him how deeply they were all still tied to her memory. It pulled at him the reality of their loss woven into their present and shaped by their future. What if Lucky helps us remember her? Mia's whisper was small, almost lost in the evening breeze. Jack's heart clenched. He wasn't sure how to articulate what he felt. Lucky was a bridge, yes, but would it be enough? The puppy might help create new memories, but could it heal the past? Yeah, Jack finally replied, his voice trembling slightly. Maybe Lucky can be a part of keeping her spirit alive. Together, we can be a family again. The twins beamed, and he felt a flicker of hope flutter within him, delicate yet fierce. Perhaps this small creature could help them navigate the swirling emotions that came with grief and affection. Lucky's going to need a good name, Mia said suddenly, breaking the moment. We can't just call him Lucky forever. Jack grinned, relief flooding through him. No, we can't. What are some other names? The conversation drifted into playful suggestions. They tossed around everything from Ruff to Sir Waggington, giggling at their ridiculousness. As they settled into light-hearted banter, enjoying this newfound normalcy, Jack felt a stirring sensation, a nagging thought pushing against his mind. What if this joyful moment wasn't the end of their difficulties? What challenges lay ahead, waiting to disrupt their fragile harmony? Deep down, he knew it wouldn't be easy. There were bills piling up, responsibilities weighing heavily on him, and the unpredictable nature of life after loss. But for now, under the vast night sky, surrounded by laughter and love, he allowed himself to breathe. Would this little puppy truly help them find what they were missing, or would embracing this new chapter force them to confront their pain head-on? As Lucky's tail wagged furiously against the earth, Jack caught a fleeting glimpse of the truth. Just maybe, the journey ahead was worth every uncertainty that came with it. Tomorrow, he said, a tremor of resolve in his voice, we'll start training him. It's a new beginning for all of us. With the stars twinkling above, he felt a sense of determination well up within him. Where would this leap lead them? The answer remained elusive, but one thought loomed large: how would they navigate the uncharted waters ahead, together? The sun peeked over the horizon, casting a soft glow across the yard. Jack rubbed his eyes, still feeling the remnants of sleep cling to him. He had barely slept the night before, thoughts swirling in his mind like tumbleweeds, but the sight of Lucky, the little ball of fur curled up beside him, brought a smile to his face. Hey there, sleepyhead, he whispered, scratching behind Lucky's ears. The puppy stirred, stretching out before hopping up and giving Jack a quick lick across the cheek. Laughter bubbled up, surprising Jack. It felt good to laugh. It had been a while since he'd heard that sound escape his own lips. Mia. Max. He called out, heart full. Rise and shine. It's training time. You're too loud. Came a muffled reply from the window, and moments later, the twins bounded out, hair tousled and eyes still filled with sleep. Mia's face was lit with excitement, while Max was just trying to shake off the last bits of drowsiness. Jack loved these simple mornings filled with possibilities. They gathered in the yard, sun shining down on them now, and Jack felt a sense of purpose sweep over him. First, We need to teach Lucky some basic commands. Who wants to try? I do. Can I teach him to sit? Mia jumped up, her enthusiasm infectious. Absolutely. Let us get some treats. As the morning unfolded, the three of them formed their own little training academy. Each time Lucky managed to sit on command, their cheers erupted into the air, like tiny rockets of joy. His tail wagged furiously, responding to their laughter, and Jack watched his children's faces light up with each success. Good boy, Lucky. Max cheered, offering a treat. You're a natural. The training session morphed into a joyful chaos, with the puppy bounding in circles, the children giggling as they wove around him, each trying to get his attention. Jack felt something shift inside him. For a moment, the shadows that had lingered around him, the weight of loss, evaporated. Let us take a break. Jack finally declared after they ran around in circles, panting and laughing. They collapsed on the soft grass, hearts racing not just from the activity, but from the sheer thrill of being alive. What's next? Mia asked, her eyes bright with possibility. Jack hesitated, looking at Lucky, who was happily chewing on a stick. Maybe, we should start thinking about where we want to take him on adventures. Like a park, or even a picnic. Max's eyes widened. Picnic, yes. We could pack sandwiches and bring cookies. Don't forget Lucky's favorite treats. Jack said, ruffling Max's hair. They spent the next hour brainstorming their perfect picnic plan, trading ideas back and forth until they had concocted an entire day filled with treats, games, and the promise of sunshine. It felt so good to dream again, to share laughter and excitement in a world that had felt so gray for so long, but as they began to gather supplies, Mia's voice broke through the joy. Do you think Mom would have liked Lucky? Would she have taken him on picnics too? Jack's smile faltered slightly, the sudden wave of grief crashing back in. She would have loved him, he replied, turning away to wipe at his eye instinctively. And yes, she would have wanted us to take him on picnics. They all fell quiet, letting the moment hang heavy for a breath before Mia piped up again. Lucky can be a reminder of her, while we make new memories. Right, Dad? Jack turned back, catching her gaze, and he was struck by the maturity wrapped in her small frame. Right, sweetheart. Lucky will help us remember. And we're going to make so many new memories together. Just then, Lucky bounded toward them, barking as if sensing the weight between them, lifting their spirits like a jolting current. He tossed the stick he had been chewing and scampered around in mad circles, chasing his own tail, looking at the little puppy's infectious energy. Jack couldn't help but chuckle. All right, Lucky, let us get this picnic together. We have new adventures to plan. As they gathered their things, laughter resounded in the air once more. But quietly, a thought gnawed at Jack. Would Lucky be enough to help them slice through the weight of their mixed emotions? As they laid out their picnic blanket in the sun, the afternoon glowed with promises of warmth and togetherness. But still, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that something else was on the horizon, a storm possibly brewing just beyond their laughter. What challenges awaited them? In the back of his mind, an unease lingered. Would this happiness hold strong against life's unpredictability? Would they be ready when the next wave of grief or uncertainty came crashing in? The clouds shifted overhead, the breeze picked up, and Jack felt a shiver run through him. Did this sunshine truly herald new beginnings, or were they racing toward other uncharted waters? As Jack and the twins spread out their picnic blanket, the bright colors stood in stark contrast to the gray, shadowy memories hanging over them. Mia and Max raced to gather the food, their laughter flaring up like fireworks around a summer night. Jack watched them, a soft warmth blooming in his chest, even as a part of him remained on guard. Lucky, come here. Max called out, waving a treat in the air. The puppy bounded over, ears flopping, mouth open in an eager grin. Jack felt a shiver of hope that maybe, just maybe, Lucky could fill some of the empty spaces created by their loss. Okay, what do you want first, guys? Jack asked, trying to keep the mood light. Mia plopped down on the blanket and began to unpack the food, revealing sandwiches nestled between colorful bags of chips and a batch of cookies, their chocolate chips glistening like little treasures. Sandwiches, of course. And cookies. Max beamed, as if the mere thought could wipe away their sadness. Jack chuckled, loving how simple things could ignite such joy in his children. All right, sandwiches it is. He unwrapped his own, watching as the twins dove in, their faces lighting up with every bite. What do you think Mom would have packed? Mia pondered aloud, her eyes thoughtful as if she was conjuring up their mother's spirit alongside the treats. I bet she would have added something special, Jack replied, his voice just above a whisper. Maybe she would have baked a pie or even packed a surprise dessert. Mia nodded. A pie sounds nice. With whipped cream. Definitely. Extra whipped cream. Max chimed in, burying his face in a cookie. It was these moments that grounded Jack, keeping him anchored despite the storm brewing below the surface. As they chewed and chatted, Jack's mind wandered. How strange this new normal felt, a mix of sweet laughter coated in a lingering sadness. The twins seemed to genuinely connect with Lucky, the puppy was thriving in their presence, and in many ways, so was he. Yet, there was a piece of their story still unwritten, an uncertainty waiting to be acknowledged. Hey, how about we let Lucky run around after we eat? Jack suggested, wanting to lift their spirits even further. Max, mouth full of cookie, jumped up in excitement. Yes. He'll be so fast. Lucky, hearing his name, twirled in place, his little tail thumping against the ground, as if to say he was ready for the adventure. After lunch, they tossed the ball, and Lucky darted back and forth, zooming between the twins. Their laughter echoed, filling the yard with pure, unfiltered joy. For a moment, the heaviness lifted, and all there was in the world was this small family, a puppy, and the gentle sun warming their skin, but the moment shattered when a distant thunder rumbled, a low growl that sent a chill up Jack's spine. The sky darkened, clouds swirling ominously. Did you hear that? Mia said, her smile fading as she looked to the sky, eyes wide. It's just a storm, Jack reassured her, but in his heart, he felt something pulling at him. A sense of inevitable change hovered close, like a ghost waiting to intervene. As they gathered Lucky and their supplies, the air thickened, and Jack took a deep breath, feeling the tension grow. How could they shelter their children from the truth that life was unpredictable, chaotic? Let us take Lucky for a quick run before the rain starts, he suggested, trying to keep their spirits high, but even as they stood to face the impending storm, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that this day was hinting at something deeper. What emotional squall were they inviting, and could Lucky truly be the anchor they needed as they faced whatever came next? The first drops began to splatter on the ground, echoing a different kind of laughter, a reminder of the storms that sometimes fell upon their lives. Jack glanced at the twins, their faces lit with a thrill of an impromptu adventure. How would they handle all that was approaching? Before he could decide, the wind picked up, stirring the leaves, and for Jack, the uncertainty transformed into an urgent question looming large: were they ready for another roller coaster ride? The storm rolled in like an uninvited guest, clouds darkening the sky and winds whipping through the yard, but Jack held fast to the moment. He rushed the twins and Lucky back inside, laughter trailing off as they settled onto the living room floor, a patchwork of warmth pulled together by their shared excitement. Okay, team. This is our cozy fort while the storm rages outside. Jack said, tossing blankets over the coffee table, crafting a makeshift sanctuary where they could weather the turmoil together. They giggled, voices echoing against the walls, as they crawled inside, feeling safe and secure. Mia leaned against Jack, her small form nestled into his side, and Max snuggled close to Lucky, who had settled into his own little corner, blissfully unaware of the storm brewing outside. What do you think Mom would have done during a storm? Mia asked quietly, her eyes wide with reverence. Jack swallowed hard, heart aching with love for his children and sadness for the mother they missed. I think she would have made hot cocoa and told stories. Or maybe we'd build a fort just like this one, he said, smiling softly at the thought of their mother's gentle spirit guiding them. Can we? Max chirped, eyes alight with hope. I want to know all her stories. Of course. You know what? Let us start with how she met me, Jack replied, a spark igniting within him as he recalled the early days when love had seemed so simple. When I was a kid, I thought love was just a fairy tale. But your mom showed me how real it could be. As he spoke, he wove a story of chance meetings, of laughter shared over ice cream, and of love blossoming through shared dreams. The twins listened, rapt with attention, and for a moment the storm outside faded away, replaced by the warmth of Jack's storytelling. Suddenly, a loud crack of thunder reverberated through the house, rattling the windows. Mia's hand squeezed tighter around Jack's. Isn't thunder just the clouds talking? Max asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Jack chuckled softly. Yes, buddy, just like a big old conversation among the clouds. So, we've got to listen closely. With each story and each laugh, Jack felt the shadows of doubt begin to recede. He was forging new memories, ones built on love, resilience, and hope. As rain pattered fiercely against the roof, Jack realized that the storm was more than an inconvenience, it was a reminder that they were facing it all together. Every drop served as a metaphor for the challenges they had overcome and the moments still to come. When the downpour began to subside, and the first rays of sunlight peeked back through the clouds, Jack looked around at his makeshift fort and his little family. You know, he said, his heart full, no matter what storms come our way, we make it through together. He swallowed the lump in his throat as he caught Mia's gaze. Like Lucky teaches us, family is built at home, in the heart, not just in blood. You two are everything I've wished for. In that moment, Jack felt an overwhelming surge of love, solidifying the bond they had woven over the past weeks. His heart swelled with pride as he watched Mia and Max turn to Lucky, their puppy, who seemed to embody the love they all desired, loyal, full of life, and an unbreakable spirit. As the rain trickled to a stop and a rainbow arched across the sky, Jack knew this was the start of something beautiful. Knowing that even amidst turbulence and uncertainty, they could create a world that was rich with love and possibility. The past would always linger, but it no longer had to define them. Come on, let us go outside. Jack exclaimed, bursting out of the fort, the twins following close behind with Lucky joyfully bounding ahead. They stepped into the fresh aroma of wet earth and blooming flowers, laughter spilling forth into the vibrant, newly washed world. As they ran toward the backyard, Jack glanced back towards their home, heart swelling with gratitude. They had faced storms together, ignited passion in shared moments, and now created a colorful tapestry of a new life, all surrounded by love and hope. Hey, you guys! Jack shouted, as Mia twirled and Max raced to catch Lucky. How about we name our family adventure the Lucky Troop? The twins cheered in unison, eyes bright, hearts open. In that moment, Jack felt a flicker of excitement for the journey ahead. Whatever would come, they were ready to face it, together. As they raced beneath the renewed sunlight, Jack couldn't help but feel that Lucky wasn't just a puppy. They would all be lucky to have one another, and in that moment, beneath the clear skies, surrounded by laughter and happiness, life felt beautifully perfect. Subscribe immediately to this channel to not miss our next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, and comment your reactions and feelings about this heartwarming ending. Don't wait not even one more second to share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Remember, only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.